I will record it because Scarlett's not here. So every time a data point is off the line that I've drawn, we're going to call that a deviation. So I could tell if my line of best fit is good or not based on the deviations. And based on the way I'm looking at it, I think my line of best fit is a little bit too up on the graph. I should probably slide it down a little bit. I'm going to prove that to you, okay? So ready? Here we go. Let's draw in a vertical deviation between every data point that's off the line. Every data point. And the ones that are pretty much on the line, I'm not drawing the deviation for. If I continue that line, it would look like that, okay? So take a look, please. There are far more negative deviations than there are positive. And if I were to sum together all of those arrow lengths, we'll call those vectors soon, if I were to sum together the length of all these red arrows pointing down, it would far exceed the sum of the arrows pointing up. Would everybody agree with that? Does that make sense? The bottom arrows are far greater in length summed together. So what this means is that my line of best fit was too far up on the graph. It needs to come down a little bit so that these arrows get shorter and these get a little bit longer. Is that clear? If the sum of the arrow lengths on the top equaled the sum of the arrow lengths on the bottom, what would that mean to you? Yeah, it's a pretty accurate line of best fit you've drawn there. Good. So that's the first piece I want to talk about. The second part for today, and this is really, really, really important. I'm not going to dock points in your lab if you did it a different way, but I want to show you what you should really be doing for the slope. For a slope of a best fit line, you are not really using your data points. And the reason I'm emphasizing, don't worry, if you did it, do not worry, I'm not going to take no points in this lab. I'm telling you that now. The reason I'm emphasizing this is only for next year. In your AP Calculus course and your AP Physics course, you're going to be looking at experimental data at times. And you're going to have to fit a regression line, a line of best fit. The values that you should really use need to be significantly far apart first. So if I were to use, say, this point and this point, it's clearly not right. Look at the slope between these 2 points, right? That wouldn't make sense to use those 2 data points at all. But you might think, oh, let me just use these 2 data points right here. Take a look at the 2 I circled. If I connect a line between those 2 data points, this line will not match up with the slope of my blue line, right? Does everybody agree with that? So the data points that I choose, God bless you, have to be chosen wisely. And the data points that I choose do not, again, have to be my data from the lab. It simply needs to be 2 points on the blue line. So I could use this and this. Neither of those are data points from the lab, but they're both directly, exactly on the line of best fit. Is that clear? So it's not your data points that you really want to use. If 2 of your data points happen to fall perfectly on your line, by all means, if you use it, that's fine. But I'm just saying now, going forward with AP Physics, you really don't want to use your data. You want to use 2 other points that are far enough apart that happen to fit or match up with a grid line perfectly. And again, by grid line, I mean like if this graph had a bunch of lines up and down. Of course, when I get to that one, I screwed up. Okay? Grid lines like this in the background, and the assumption would be that it would be on a nice, perfect grid line. This is not perfect. I'm estimating, obviously. Okay? But the idea would be that the yellow points I chose were pretty much on intersections of grid lines. Okay? So 2 data points on the line, not necessarily 2 of your data points. Any other questions on the lab? Any other questions? Let me show you some lab data from the whole class. Well, not from the whole class, I should say, from labs that were already turned in. Okay, so take a look. So I use Excel, by the way. You can use Excel all year long. You can use Desmos if you want to plot data and get it to fit nicely. So going forward, you don't have to do this by hand. Day 1, I had to do it by hand. Why? Why did I have to do it by hand? Seb? To get used to it, maybe, Seb. But if you're doing homework and you're plotting data, or if you're in your math course and you want to get the data to work well, and you want to get the line of best fit to be accurate, you can use Excel. So I chose this column of data. and I plotted circumference versus distance. And circumference, I didn't label axes, I just did this real quick before school. Circumference, diameter. And what we notice is the best fit line has a slope of 3.132. Why did I choose this person's data? Why did I not choose this person's or this person's? Why did I choose this data? Come on, if you did the lab and you answered properly, you should be able to tell me something. Why did I choose this data? Yeah, Juliet. Why should the slope be close to 3.14?
Because the circumference divided by the diameter.
Yeah, circumference, which is the y, over diameter, which is the x, is your slope. Delta y over delta x. Circumference over diameter. That's pi. Pi is the definition of circumference over diameter. That's what it is. You never knew where pi came from. It's not a random number we choose. It's not an irrational number that was like just discovered or made up. It is the ratio of circumference to diameter. That's what pi is. So anyway, that's why I chose this group's data to make it look nice. But if I did this instead, take a look. Watch what I'm going to do. If you don't know Excel well, you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to change my data. I'm in series 1. I'm going to edit it. And I'm going to change my x values. I'm going to make them the class average. And I'm going to change the y values and make them the class average. Come on. And it turns out that using the class average, the estimate is far off. 2.78. So there were a lot of outliers or a lot of measurements that were maybe not taken properly that gave us an overall slope of 2.78. And these values, if you want to see what their formulas are, take a look over here, please. You can see the formula at the top up here. So if I double click this cell, it's the average of all of these cells, which are all of these cells. See them all? It's averaging all the cells that are highlighted behind the graph. So the class average happened to be a little bit far off, so I used that other one instead because it was close to 3.14. Okay? All right. With that said, let's go back. Let's go to Moodle, please. Go to Moodle for a moment. If you're done with the lab, I'll take it. If you're not done, you can turn it in on Tuesday. It's fine. By the way, if I have to do collections, you can always pass it to the middle, and then I'll get it easier. I'll get it from here. But it's easier for you to collect all at once if everybody passes to the middle. So if you're done with your lab today, I'll take it. Again, it's not due until Tuesday, though, so you don't have to rush on it at all. If you want to drop off later today, if you finish, that's fine as well. Go to Moodle, please. Go to Notes on Moodle. Go to Notes.